What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the JC Wings May 2025 releases. Yes, these are apparently labeled as May releases. I just got the word that another retailer from the UK, Aviation Retail Direct, they put these up for pre-order well before JC Wings themselves had even posted an announcement. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what they've got going for this month. So to start off, we have a Comac C919 for Air China, labeled as a 1-to-100 release, registration Bravo-9 or 19 or X-Ray. Also doing a screen recording of the Aviation Retail Direct site, by the way. Moving up, we have a couple of ANA 737-700s. One of them is a flaps down release, and then a Royal Air Force Vickers VC-10 C1K, so a different variant of the VC-10. And then a Mexicana 727-200 with the green Tula tail is what it's called. And then moving up to the next row, we've got a China Southern ATR 72, registration Bravo-3022. And then a DHL 777 freighter with Singapore Airlines titles on it. So one of those hybrids that DHL has, and there's been plenty of them with like Polar. I know there's quite a few out there still. And then our first Korean Air 787-10 new livery example, Hotel Lima 8515. I've heard that Korean Air is rapidly repainting their fleet into the new livery. I think they have a couple A321neos, some ones that have yet to be delivered. Those are in the new livery now. And then there's an A330 that they had retired, which they used as a test bed for the new livery. And then there's also another one as well with the flaps down release. Sorry about the jolting with the screen. It's the way that the Google Chrome, my browser, is set up. Like the tabs will keep showing up if I scroll a certain way. So sorry if it's jumping up and down and editing. And then we have another set of Korean Air new liveries. We have the 777-300ER, Hotel Lima 8008, and also a flaps down release to be made. Iran Air 727-100, see through the windows, I guess, so I'm not sure if that means they actually have, like, decals in the windows, like there'd be passengers in some of them not. Kind of looks like that might be the case, so that's a first for me. I've never seen that. And then Wunala Dreaming, Qantas 747-400 with the GE engines. So that is that next row, and then we'll move up again. Alaska Air Cargo 737-400 freighter, and then a Finnair A350-900 in the regular livery. KLM City Hopper Embraer 190 with the 100th anniversary sticker. And British Midland Saab 340B, so nice pair of regionals from Europe. Moving up, a Varig 737-200, and then an American MD-11. Very cool. And then as we saw with AV400, JC Wings is making the Swiss A350-900 with that special livery, the Swiss Wanderlust livery. And then that looks like that's all of our 1-to-200 announcements. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find the 1-to-400 announcements. All right, on to the first page. We actually have one more 1-to-200 release. This is the Lufthansa A321neo, the Help Alliance livery. Now we got our first 1-to-400 release, and this is one of the Airbus A300 Belugas. This is Beluga number 4 with the opening front nose. Asia's World City Cathay 333, also a flaps down release to go alongside that. And then moving up, we have the Korean Air new livery, 787-10, and then there should be a 333 right next to that, which is the case. I don't know why the photos are stretched like that. The aspect ratio is all wrong. Must be something with the listings. Qatar Cargo 748 Interactive Series, and then a Boeing House Color 737-700 Building on Success livery. Never heard of this livery before, but that is really cool. Looks like it's got like a world atlas map on it in the rear of the aircraft. And then next to that, we have the Swiss A350-900 Wanderlust livery, also a flaps down release next to that, which the 1-to-200 folks are also getting. And then moving up to the next row, we have the Air India A310 and an Iceland Air 757-300. Ooh, I see a Delta widget right next to that. It's Spirit of Delta! Oh my gosh, a new Spirit of Delta. Wow, that is impeccable timing because Airliners International is coming up. I may have to pre-order that. I know that JC Wings is very unreliable with pre-orders and it might take several months, so I will keep that up for consideration. That is a strong interest of mine because obviously Airliners International is going to be in the Delta Flight Museum, which is where the Spirit of Delta is at, so I would love to get one of these. Of course, I may find the old Gemini release there too, so we'll see what happens, but that will be up for consideration. And then next to that, an Alitalia MD-11. And then we'll move up to the next row. We should be getting close to the end here. We have a CSA Czech Airlines ATR 72-500 with the Sky Team livery. And then another Lufthansa A321neo Help Alliance livery for 1 to 400 scale. Austrian Airlines 777-200ER. This is the Johann Strauss livery. Don't know too much about that gentleman, but I'm sure he was a very nice one. I'll take a look at that once I'm done with recording this part. And then, there's a JetBlue Nintendo Mario and Friends livery. This is the Cloud something Chaser. I'm forgetting the name right now, but this is the new special livery for Nintendo and Mario and all that for this JetBlue A320. So, looks really nice. I like the livery. I hope to spot this soon. And then a Spanish Air Force A330 MRTT. And then our final releases are the Air Pacific 747-400s, one of them a flaps down release. So that should be all of our releases from JC Wings for this month. I'll just check another list that I have real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything, but since it's from the same source, I should have been able to cover everything. Looks like that's the case, so that's good to see. Very great release from JC Wings, getting a nice representation for the Korean Air new livery. I know that new livery has divided a lot of people. You know, I've talked to some who don't like it, and I've talked to others who have had that livery grow on them. Personally, the livery has grown on me as well. I like the dark blue Korean titles. Obviously, the tail, it needs some work. It's way too simple compared to the old Pepsi tail that they've had since the 80s, but in all honesty, I think they were well overdue for a rebrand. This was announced like a few years ago when they announced their merger with Asiana. So this is part of why they're conducting this rebranding. So I'll definitely have to pick up one of the new Korean Air liveries once I spot them at some point down the line. I don't know when that will be. I know Atlanta has Korean Air service on the 748. Those should begin the new livery soon. I haven't heard of any that have it just yet, but I'm sure that's not too far out if there's not any, but there is probably one out there by this point. I just haven't seen any photos of it. But the biggest interest for me, the Spirit of Delta 762. So JC Wings must know about Airliners International coming up. Hopefully that's ready in time for the show, because I'd love to pick one of these up. Since it's obviously the centerpiece of the museum, just sitting there right inside the hangar, and that's where they have the convention too. Like literally, you're standing underneath a freaking plane, and you're walking around all these tables with all these airline collectibles and memorabilia items just sitting there. It's got to be the best feeling for those that have attended the previous two shows that were there in 2015 and then 2019 was the last time that they were in the area. So be super excited to check that out, and that Spirited Delta will be joining my collection once I spot it, and then whatever happens with regards to who I get this from, because Gemini made one a long time ago, Aero Classics made one as well. They've made pretty much all the variations of it. I have the one with the 767 tail that was at Farnborough in 1982. But of course, that prime Spirited Delta livery, that is the main focus for that. So that's what I want to get for my collection. So that'll do it for this JC Wings release video. I've been pumping out these new release videos like crazy the last few days, trying to keep up with all the new announcements that have come out. I saw In-Flight 200, they posted a new announcement like literally the day that I posted my In-Flight 200 release video, so that'll be in the next one that I do sometime in April, depending on when I get time, since I'm going to get pretty slammed here with other commitments moving forward. So I'll do my best to keep up with these new releases and everything else. With that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.